Hey, everybody, welcome to Options with Hans. We have a very special episode for you today. More about that in just a moment. First, as always, this is for educational and entertainment purposes only. If you're okay with that, keep on going. And if not, we'll see you next time. I am Hans Albrecht, 15 years as a pro options market maker, 10 years after that, managing $1 billion in option strategies, a whole suite of income and downside protect funds. So offense and defense, income and leverage, that is my world. My fund won a Lipper Award for excellence, and you can absolutely do this for fun and excitement. You can do this sensibly, thoughtfully, and with a deep respect for risk. And I am here to help bridge that gap for you between sensible income and sensible upside. Anyone who follows me knows I hate to give up upside, and that is why my unique blend of turbo trades and income is second to none. And on that note, I'm going to be bringing you something very, very exciting soon. 29 years of actual options expertise in the trenches, options pricing arbitrage as a pro, building income products, revolutionizing the way income products are run. And I don't like how most of them are run. That is why people come to me. They go, this is ridiculous. What's going on here? What's with the performance? These are things I was talking about 20 years ago. All of my knowledge distilled down into my pro income scanner, which is launching this week at a wonderfully low price. There's absolutely nothing like it anywhere. So do me a favor, because I have a movement going here and I want to actually change this industry. Grab my free ebooks down below in the description. I'm going to put you on the waiting list so you don't miss a bit of news about this. It's going to be awesome. And today we're talking about one company I think dominates the AI future. Google, I think they're everywhere they need to be. It's a little bit of luck, it's a little bit of being in the right place at the right time, but it's also a keen management that I underestimated. The DOJ decision to not interfere and split up the company was moment number one for me. So that was really, really big. Then there was evidence, number two, of resilient search data for Google. Remember, this was the big sticking point. I was even skeptical about this, 100%. I was skeptical about their ability to keep that very high margin revenue in the face of ChatGPT being the go-to in terms of search, in terms of what people are starting to use now. That is no longer clearly the case. Now, number three, when ChatGPT announced it would start running ads, I knew Google had won. This differentiator was a big, big thing for GPT. They have no choice. They are absolutely in a position where they need to generate revenue to justify all the things that they're doing. So this whole idea that ChatGPT is going to be giving us these unbiased results, that really caught on for a little bit. Boy, I'd love to get results without being constantly sold something. Forget about that. That is not happening anyway. Number four, I noticed that Google search /AI is actually a great, great product. I actually use it all the time now. AI at the top, which is going to give you that AI rush, the information that you want, and then the usual comfortable search results below that. And I think that's important. People love the comfort of Google. It's been around for 25 years. And you know what? Let's face it, we are consumers. We like to consume, and I don't think ads are all that offensive. I want people to show me things that I'm interested in, generally speaking. So these were the really, really big moments out there. And we started to get in August, started getting very, very positive on it, doing many income trades. In Turbo Trader, we got these periods of stay the heck out of the way, very, very big warnings. Then we start to get a little bit more constructive, some yellows. We see it sort of looks orange here. Yellows basically starting to give us more kind of income-y type trades when you've got that higher implied volatility. Then we start getting these shoots of green, and then beautifully, as you can see, right here, as we start to look towards all-time highs, we already start getting that green. So you already start getting that signal that it's time to get very, very interested in this thing in a more upside capture kind of way. And sure enough, it starts to break out and boom, boom, boom. And we played this whole thing like a Stradivarius, ridiculous. I made it clear in the community. This was one of my very, very biggest positions. That's really, really exciting, because when you have something really help you there. So we did some aggressive income trades. Turbo Trader is all about that, right? Income upside, depending on what the proprietary system is telling us. But back to Google, the bottom line is that while OpenAI kind of wants to be useful, at one point, it clicked for me and I said, Google already is, right? While they looked like for some time, like they were kind of sitting confidently, overconfidently on their search market share, almost smugly, we know that Google has not shown big initiatives. They are coming out swinging. They are acting more like a nimble company, more nimble than they should be at that size. They've got decades of search data, the world's biggest video library. YouTube is maybe the greatest asset on earth. I've been saying that for a long time. I said they're going to grow at a much higher clip than is expected, and that's exactly what's happening. Think of all this new content that we're going to be creating. AI is going to give us the ability to just create, left, right, and center. All that innovation, all these companies that are going to want to place ads in the most targeted way. There's nothing like YouTube with its ability to target captive audiences. It is a genius platform. And it's going to be absolutely huge and probably rival Netflix at some point very soon. So every video, every query on YouTube, every clip, these are all feeding Gemini, which is a very serious competitor to GPT. And I think it's the one that can actually win. And we're going to talk about why. And then Apple announcing this week, paying $1 billion a year to rebuild Siri using Google's technology, a very solid sign of an adoption by a respectable company that cannot afford to mess this up. So trust, I think, is a very big thing. Google practically invented AI. They have more data than anybody, and they've been doing it for 25 years. So people know Google is going to be around. They know that GPT is probably going to have to cut some corners, maybe throw a few curveballs here and there, because they have a position of having to succeed and ramp up revenue and do whatever it takes. So I think that while no one can trust any of these companies fully, I think this incumbent, Google, has already earned that trust in a way because they're already at scale with tentacles everywhere and in everything, and in a very different financial position and generating revenue right now. So make no mistake, OpenAI is going to be a very formidable foe, but Google has the pieces in place to really make it work right now. So Google isn't really chasing AI in a sense, just as OpenAI seems to be chasing. AI is kind of catching up to the infrastructure that Google already has, and they're already sitting there with open arms saying, okay, bring it on, let's do it. Now, on that note, how are they bringing it? Well, let's take a look. Let's talk about the incredible ecosystem here. Remember, the words utility are really big, right? How do we make AI work for us? AI is very cool when used casually, but the implications from AI, from a utility, meaning usefulness standpoint, in the economy and for us individually, are absolutely massive. The money is not in selling $20 AI, really. No, certainly not with all the spending they're doing out there. That's not going to cut it. $200 AI even, doesn't matter. It's in creating tools that are going to become indispensable to people and businesses, and that's already happening in Google. So look at this system. AI that helps you do things faster. So Gemini lives inside Gmail, Docs, Slides. That is a secret weapon for Google, kind of like Microsoft as well. They have a productivity suite that is just sitting there ready for that AI boost. That means pricing power. That means incredibly powerful potential new features that people are going to clamor and lap up. They're helping you write emails, create slides, summarize notes, translate, make videos, podcasts, you name it, they're doing it. And there are going to be things that we don't even know about. They're going to be invented. And they already have all those users, all those eyeballs in that productivity suite. Number two, build your own AI tools. You don't need coding anymore. That's why we're going to see this incredible world of innovation. With AI Studio, you can start building AI projects without being a programmer. You describe what you want. Gemini helps make it happen. It's like AI Lego, right? You can start putting the pieces together and making your vision come to life. Three, smarter teamwork. Google Meets, Docs, Gemini can take notes, translate, help you brainstorm, bring ideas together. Who's writing this down? It's all done for you. This is going to create incredible tools and potential for productivity increases for companies all around. And that's going to really drive benefits and the bottom line. And when people's bottom line is improving, that revenue and that reliance on Google becomes very sticky. AI protects you. So Gemini isn't just creative, it's a bodyguard as well. It's going to help spot problems, protect data inside Google Cloud. So it is just something that is really going to help keep your business safe. And again, trust for a company that's been around for 25 years. So it's everywhere, and it's going to be on your phones, on your Chromebooks. It's going to be, Notebook LM is unbelievable. It's like your personal research buddy. It's amazing. It'll create a podcast out of what you've done. I've done it for some of my lessons. I said, listen, if you don't have time to watch the lesson or the session that we did, listen to this podcast, 15, 20-minute podcast of these two people kind of talking about what happened in there. And it's actually unbelievably good. I will not tell you something's unbelievably good unless it is. Some things about AI aren't that good. This is incredible. We are seeing the future being developed right now, and it's incredible. So I'm just describing a few of these things that we can see on this page and that they're doing and that they're initiating with many partners these days. But Google is there, right? It's in a world that's changing quickly. And the companies of all sizes, right? This small companies, big companies, you can have a massive budget and need this stuff, but it's going to appeal to smaller companies. This connection to cheap, endless, accessible tools is right. It's like kind of like having this sort of personal helper around you all the time. And that's going to create that loyalty, that positive momentum that should feed into earnings for years and years. Developers are falling over each other to try to fit into the system. That means utility, usefulness, sticky users, sticky revenue, and then endless future spokes. Think of a wheel with spokes that are going to go into all these areas we haven't even thought of yet. And there are the customers sitting pretty right there for you. So you have to start to think big with this thing. We'll talk about valuation in a moment, but analysts and people tend to think kind of linearly. Don't do that. Think big. Look at Meta. They crushed the stock in the last couple of weeks because Zuckerberg hasn't quite figured this out yet, right? He's got a bit of tunnel vision going on, and they don't have the wide, broad ecosystem that Google has. So very, very different stock. Meta's getting cheap again, and Google isn't quite as cheap as it used to be, but think of the trajectory of these two companies. So again, this is not just a model, it's an ecosystem, right? 13 million developers, 650 million monthly users. Every time they build on this, Google's moat gets deeper and deeper. Gemini Enterprise lets companies spin up AI agents in minutes. Agentic AI is the thing where you start to create these kind of pods of usefulness, programs essentially that are going to help solve a lot of problems around the world. Waymo, people don't talk about them enough. They're doing very, very well. YouTube Shorts are optimized by Gemini. Google Cloud, 70% of clients are already experimenting with AI through Google Cloud. So incredible growth in there. And those numbers we saw recently were just incredible. And then, of course, we don't talk about it as much, but they're TPUs, right? They've got the TPUs, the GPU competitor, which are being adopted. And then quantum chips that are going to be a very, very big thing. They lead in so many areas. So in my view, after years of kind of coasting, management is back in full attack mode, data, compute, distribution. Nobody else out there has quite the suite that is out there. Everyone's going to be renting from Google. It's as simple as that. Now, what about valuation? Well, we've seen a little pump up here, right? But still, I'd say what we're seeing here is that essentially Google has been re-rated. I think the same thing is happening with Amazon, which is kind of why I like it as well. There was fear of Amazon. That was leave that for another video, that their cloud was going to get hit. It's not. So we've taken out this sort of almost existential risk in a way from Google. It wasn't existential, but it was a big, big potential hit. They are actually in the game. So now we've had a re-rating of this stock, which is essentially what the last $100 has been. And now it's trading at fair value, right? So now we have to rely on actual performance. I think they can command a higher multiple. I think probably not investment advice, but I think this thing should probably trade around 330. And then I believe that they are going to be taking a larger and larger piece of the pie, and pies that we don't even know about from a revenue standpoint. So I think it's actually still very, very interesting here. Return on invested capital, beautiful, beautiful numbers we've seen. Operating margin, we know these guys are spending money, but they are setting themselves up for the next 50 years of great earnings power. Operating margin, cloud is not going to be a profit drag at some point. It's going to be a profit engine. Everyone wonders what these guys are doing. They are going to dominate, and they're spending the money. Who else has hundreds of billions of dollars? Look at Oracle. They don't have the money to do what they're doing. So this is a different kind of position. Free cash flow, really, really beautiful. Amazing interest coverage, and CAGR really, really good. So the metrics are really, really great on this stock. And I think there is actually room for a bit of multiple expansion, not to mention improving actual revenues and in areas that we don't even know about. Again, I think that is one of the amazing things about this phase of AI and AI inference and how it starts to change everyone's lives in some negative, but many positive ways. And I think Google is just in that sweet spot to really serve the world in that sense. So, okay, so as we look at the scanner, we've got a number of names on here. Alphabet seems to be right on there. So we got a nice green. We've got the MTI trend, which is really good. The trade that is recommended is the turbo. You can see it's not the case for Microsoft, for example. It's a bit more incomey with a good trend. Still not that bad. Again, this is a whole bunch of steps, 5 pillars of edge that I use in this proprietary system, filtering down to looking for a number of those names that really, really look good. We get stability, we get all those good things that we really want as income traders. Because remember, income is really about creating something. It's kind of like a bond proxy, right? Except you don't get the protection of a bond. You're throwing off cash from these names that are meant to give you upside exposure, right? That's why you're in markets. But in this case, you want to really find that really beautiful balance of stability as well as the option pricing and all these other things that it goes through to find those very, very best trades. The turbo trade strikes are in here. And so for something like this, I'd also look over at, we've got a pretty good overall picture here. You can see Meta really not in a position where we want to take on something like that. We got the SPY, the Q's looking good. IWM, a bit on the cautionary side. Probably looks good for a bit of income type trading, but it's definitely not a green as go kind of situation. And as you look down, we've got a lot of green in the squeeze ratio is cautionary right now. That's something that I talk about in my videos sometimes. We've got a number of different things that feed into some of the indications that we want from the overall market, as well as different themes and things like that. We want to know that there's good, solid money, big money behind it. So these are many of the elements that it takes into account. So I think Google's one of those great names that is really in a position, along with Micron, a couple others, that really has that momentum behind it. And it's a bit tricky, right? This market's been a bit squishy lately. It has been very much, move into the balance sheet heroes, as I call them, which is why they're really popping up on the scanner. So that's the kind of trade I'd make here. And so let's take a look. Okay, so the scanner gives you the exact strikes, the exact expiry, exactly what needs to be done. You can see here this sets up really, really nicely for some very good upside. And so doing something like a 240.60 put vertical that's going to finance some of that upside, in this case fully, right? So you're going to get a credit no matter what. You're going to make money between 260 and 300 and 290, and then beyond that you're going to get that nice leverage in a name that you really like, that's looking good, that's got the MTI, that's got the green is go kind of outlook, which is really a combination of many, many things that we want to see and can give us confidence. Okay, so that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and get on that mailing list by grabbing the free ebooks in the description, and I'll keep you posted on everything. I don't want to give you guys too much right now, but it's all going to be unfolding this week, and I'm really, really excited, and I hope you are too, so we'll talk to you soon.